Hey teachers, have you ever just had one of those days where it was like everything was going wrong? The technology wasn't working. The student behaviors were totally off the chain. The lesson didn't go the way you thought it was going to go. Everything just seems to be going wrong. It was just one of those days. You're not alone. And in today's video, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you to survive those rough days, plus a few that will help you take care of yourself after the students go home. So let's talk about it. Hello, wonderful educators. It's your Oasis mentor here, JL Waters, and I am beyond excited to share this with you today. It has been a week and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you amazing tips that are going to help you to thrive and survive those super rough days in the classroom. We've all had them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And for more resources to overcome and to prevent teacher burnout, go to oasisedservices.com. So my wonderful educators, can I tell you that this has been a week? I had one of the worst days teaching this week. And it was so challenging because, number one, we were having issues with technology. For some reason, my co-teacher's laptop would not connect to the board. And if you're used to a whiteboard and using all of the technical things and all of the things that we can do with a wonderful whiteboard, interactive boards, we're no longer using the chalkboard. You know how frustrating it can be when technology is not working. And our student behaviors, just this school year alone, like we have more student behaviors than we do those that are not behaviors. And I've never encountered that before. Usually in the classroom, I would say, let's talk about that 80-20 rule. So I would say if you had a class of 20 students, 20% would be what, 4? So usually I would say between 1 to 4 students, no more than 5 are usually some type of behaviors in your classroom. That's typically how it is. This school year, it is the opposite. About 80% of our class are behaviors and major behaviors. And it has taken the sheer grace of God, the anointing of God, all self-care, prayer, meditation, oil, to get me through this school year, as well as some very dedicated and supportive co-teachers and administration. I am super grateful. But we have so many behaviors. We have a very challenging population. They're dealing with a lot of poverty and homelessness and trauma, and it shows in the behaviors. And so this week, on a particular day, it was a perfect storm. Technology was not working. We were on a different routine and schedule because of testing, and all of the students were present. It was a perfect storm. We just had a variety of behaviors the entire day. We had several students eloping from the classroom. We had some students leaving the actual school building. We had a student who was throwing things and knocking things over and just trashing the room. We had to evacuate the students out. And even as we were evacuating the students and we took them in another classroom, you could just hear that student screaming and yelling and destroying things. And it was a whole thing. And the fact that I had to later on that day do my speech contest for Toastmasters. It was the division finals. And my mind by the end of that day was just, it was just frazzled. So on days like that, which I've had many days, especially this school year, when you have days like that, you want to make sure that you have tools in your toolbox. You have things that you can do to help you to get through those tough days. And I'm going to give you those tips today. So let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to pause, take a break. And this is something that I had to do. This was a beautiful experience. After one of the events that happened, I just was in a place of heightened alert. I could tell I was stressed. My body was tense. I had gotten into a power struggle with a student that I was not going to win. And thank God for my co-teacher who was like, Waters. You know, we're like in the military. We call each other by our last names, right? And she was kind of like, okay, you need to step away. You need to step away. And so I just said, hey, to my co-teacher, I just need you to turn on some music. I need to just have some mindful movement and breathing on the carpet. And she turned on some music. It was beautiful, water in the background with dolphins and all of that. It was perfection. And I just sat crisscross applesauce on the carpet and I just started breathing. And you know what was so beautiful? My students came down on the carpet with me and we were in a circle and we did mindful breathing and movement together. And it was just beautiful. And after that moment, that student had been removed by administration by that point. And we just went back to our desks and the students continued their day. The music played calmly. And we were just in a peaceful place. We were in a great place of calm until administration brought the student back and there was another outburst. Anywho, but that was so beautiful. I feel the peace now just even talking about it. So that's what you can do. I know sometimes maybe you're in a classroom by yourself. You can even say to the students, just for a minute, just shh. I'm going to put the timer on. We're going to do 3 minutes of quiet, or put on some quiet music. Or if you have a co-teacher in there, if you can call administration or your buddy across the hall and say, hey, I need to step out, and just take a moment. It can even be 1 minute and just pause, just take deep breaths and just let yourself reset. Now, another tip that you can use, which has been a challenge for me, I try my best, but sometimes I like to be in control and I'm not thinking about your viewpoint or the way you're thinking or what you're going through. I'm right. I want control. It doesn't matter what you say, especially with students. You do what I say. I'm not giving you choices and options. That's the old school me. That's the old school, and that's the mom in me. But the trauma-informed me says, are you okay? Do you need a moment? The trauma-informed me says, hey, let me give you some choices. So, would you like for me to call administration? Or would you like to do choices like, hey, I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes. Would you like to go to the calm down corner for 5 minutes and calm down? Or would you like to draw? What is your choice? Things like that. And then also just looking from things from their point of view. When that student had that tantrum to the point where she was trying to escape from the classroom, even to the point where she was trying to bite my co-teacher. Yes, it was that type of day. Anywho, but that behavior is speaking something to us. She was having a trauma response and she just wanted to get away. Something on the inside of her, that survival brain just kicked in, and it was no logic. There was no logic to what was going on. She just needed to escape. And so just to look at it from her perspective, if I was in a place where I didn't feel safe, I'm just going to try my best. I'm going to do whatever I can to get away. And so that's in those times to just be mindful of what our students are going through and have a mind of empathy. Here's another tip. Add movement or music like I said earlier, this can be a game changer, and it doesn't have to be a Zen, woo-woo, mindful music, mindful movement. You know, I'm all about that. I love that. But even fun things, like I do fun brain breaks with my students all the time. We'll put on different YouTube videos. I love Go Noodle. We do all different types of dancing together. So get them moving, up and moving, even fast paced can totally change the mood and the dimensions of the classroom. Also, at the end of the day, before you leave the room, try to find a moment of gratitude. Reflect on that day and think about what went well that day. So for example, on that day for me, how beautiful was it that the students wanted to join me for mindful movement and breathing? How beautiful was that my co-teacher stepped up and stepped in to assist me in a very tense situation with a student. There also were funny times in the day where my students made me laugh and they tried to comfort me, and that's beautiful. So at the end of the day, reflect on what went well that day. And the last tip, at the end of the day, after this long, tough day, take care of you. So when you have rough days like that, do not just, hey, I'm going to grading papers. Let's start on lesson plans. I'm going and I'm doing all of these things. No, if you've had a rough day, you need to reset. You need to recharge. You need to refill your cup because you poured out a lot. Do not just, hey, I'm going to drink a glass of wine and get on the couch and just stuff those things down. The body keeps score, and that is a traumatic event. That is a form of trauma. I think we underestimate the amount of trauma that teachers go through in the classroom. So be intentional after work with some things that will take care of you. You can do a hand massage. Massage your hands, massage your own shoulders. You can do some mindful movement. Go outside and take a walk, do a workout, go to the gym, do something that you really love to do. Go catch a movie, turn on some music and dance. Put on some calming music or an inspirational podcast on your drive home from work. Or you can even schedule a real massage. Yes, it is absolutely worth it. Massages are so beneficial. It helps to work out all of that tension that has built up during a very stressful day. Guys, once again, self-care is not selfish. It is a necessity. It is your fuel for tomorrow. We all have hard days. We're allowed to have the hard day. What matters is that you keep showing up. And when you have those hard days, you can get through them and you can recover from them if you are intentional in taking care of you. Even if it's messy, it can still be meaningful. Don't forget, you're making a difference. And through all of the tears, all of the hard days, all of the stress and the tension and the behaviors and all the things, you are an incredible educator and you are making a difference. Your impact is changing the world. Never forget that. I'm so proud of you for pushing through. You're incredible. There's so much greatness in you. Go forth and be great. I'll see you next time in the Oasis.